Your wife?
What do you mean?
Muhammad says it's okay to beat your wife. Is that okay in your
Beat
eyes?
your wife? You mean like, yeah, for sure. If we have trouble, if we have like a big trouble, all right. If I leave her and she's leave me alone, if they like be like the good, like good for good reason. If you have like big reason for that, why not to don't make any problem again. You see what I mean? To get peace of mind.
Is that
This
really
way.
loving your wife,
Second, you
though?
said here.
Yeah.
Let me show the cameras, man. You said here,
Mm-hmm.
Islam ladies to hell.
Yeah.
Only Jesus to save
Saves.
us.
Yes.
Why?
Because he died on the, see
Why?
that
Because
cross?
oh
See
yeah.
the cross?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the cross, man.
That's
Let
how
me, if you believe, I don't believe, man. You can't charge me to believe, man. You can't.
Well, if you really think you can beat your wife, you have a problem, you know? There are laws against that. You can go to jail for that, you know that? So if you follow the Quran and beat your wife, you can go to jail for a long time.
The God, He has give us the rules.
No, no, no.
The Bible, the
We have a
people that
society
don't
in
make the rules,
America,
man.
right? America, you will go to jail if you beat your wife.
What do you mean?
That's what.
I'm gonna kill my wife?
That's
That's
no.
what you believe?
It's
I'm gonna
domestic.
kill my wife?
It's domestic violence if you beat your wife. So you can go to jail for a long time for
If
that.
I have problem with her, I'm gonna leave her alone.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are doing that, man.
Yeah.
A
But
lot
Muhammad will lead
a
you
lot
into
of the
jail.
Christian Muslim, Muhammad should be jail, man.
Muhammad will lead you into jail if you follow his teaching because he says to beat your wife. So if you beat your wife, right? I'm trying to protect you
By
from Muhammad's
Yusuf,
false teaching. Hello, my friends in Christ. This book is called The Unveiling of Islam. And there are the authors right there. But I was doing a little research on this book and wanted to figure out, if it could be used to help me in witnessing to Muslims. And I found a lot of great information here I wanted to share with you. So anyways, we'll go ahead and take a look at some information in this book. For those that don't know, I'm R.Joshua. I do a lot of witnessing and street preaching. And it's kind of interesting. A lot of times the Muslims say, well, the Quran doesn't say that we're to kill the infidel or the non-believer. But if you look in page 46 of this book, it says in Surah 929, fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day. That's in Surah 929. And you can see that right there. There's a couple different passages right here. Okay. But it also says there, strongest among men in enmity to the believers, in their case they believe the believers are the Muslims, will you find the Jews and pagans. That's in Surah 582. So they're saying that we're strongest among men in enmity against the Muslims. So, and then it says also in Surah 988, verse 6, those who disbelieve among the people of the book and among the polytheists will be in hellfire to dwell therein. They are the worst of creatures. So that's those of us that don't believe in their false god, Allah. Now, there's a lot of other verses that talk about killing the infidel or attacking the infidel. We're going to look at some of that too. Page 188 of this book talks about this. And it talks about not even being our friends also. In Surah 5, verse 51, it says, O you who believe, take not the Jews and the Christians for your friends and protectors. They are but friends and protectors to each other. And he among you that turns to them for friendship is of them. It's in Surah 5:5. Surah chapter 5, verse 51. And there's also other verses here that tell us, that they're going to attack us, essentially, as that's what the book is telling them to do. So, of course, ultimately, they're eventually going to do that, some of these guys. Let's look at page 48. I don't know if you saw this one yet, but page 48. Let's see here. Here it is. Surah 9:5. This is a great one here. But it says, but when the forbidden months are past, then fight and slay the pagans wherever you find them, and seize them, beleaguer them, and lie in wait for them in every stratagem of war. Now that doesn't sound like a religion of peace to me, which they claim it to be. It's kind of a lot of lies they try to tell people to hide what this thing really is. Page 54, we can look and it talks about Surah 533. Um, the punishment of those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive with might and main for mischief through the land is execution or crucifixion or the cutting off of hands and feet from opposite sides or exile from the land. That is their disgrace in this world, and a heavy punishment is theirs in the hereafter. And that's Surah 5:33. So, as witnesses for Christ, we essentially are waging war against Allah and His Messenger. So, we're due for execution, crucifixion, or the cutting off of hands and feet from opposite sides, or exile from the land. So that's part of this religion of peace, so-called, that they're teaching these unfortunate followers. So if you're considering following Islam, I encourage you not to do so, of course, and to give your life to Jesus, who died for us, who is the way, the truth, and the life. Also, we can look in the Hadith, page 35 of this book talks about that. And it says, the person, this is Hadith chapter 1, verse 35, the person who participates in holy battle in Allah's cause, and nothing compels him to do so except belief in Allah and His apostles, will be recompensed by Allah either with a reward or booty if he survives, or will be admitted to paradise if he is killed in the battle as a martyr. So, also it says Surah chapter 3, verse 157, if you are slain or die in the way of Allah, forgiveness and mercy from Allah are far better than all they could amass. So, they're encouraged to die for this Allah of theirs, and to fight us, and not even to befriend us, Christians. And, there's all kinds of verses other than those two that talk about this stuff, but that's kind of a little snapshot of some of them I found in this book. Also, women are considered unclean. Page 138, it says, O you who believe, this is Surah 4, chapter 4, verse 43, O you who believe, approach not prayers with a mind befogged until you understand all that you say, nor in a state of ceremonial impurity until after washing your whole body if you are ill or on a journey, or you have been in contact with women. And if you find no water, then take for yourself clean sand or earth and rub your faces and hands, for Allah doth blot out sins and forgive them again and again. And so women, in a sense, are considered unclean. That's what this book talks about. According to Islam, a woman is by nature unclean. In the protocols before prayer, a man is considered unclean if he touches a woman, even his wife, before prayer. And they also allow for the beating of wives. If you look at this is page 55 here, this book. We'll go there. We look in Surah chapter 4, verse 43. Men are the protectors and maintainers of women because Allah has given the one more than the other, and because they support them from their means. Therefore, the righteous women are devoutly obedient and guard in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. As to those on whose part you fear disloyalty and ill conduct, admonish them first, next refuse to share their beds, and last beat them. That's Surah chapter 4, verse 34. So you see that wives don't have necessarily the same rights as Christian wives. I'm not sure why a woman would want to marry a Muslim if that's the rule. Also, if you look at Muhammad, his life, in page 58, he actually married a 9-year-old named Aisha, Aishah. I may be saying that wrong, but we'll go ahead and take this right here, this paragraph here. It says, the most questionable of marriages of Muhammad was with young Aisha. Muhammad betrothed her when she was just 6 and consummated the marriage when she was 9. She was in fact the only virgin the Prophet ever married. So that's kind of sad that this Prophet was a pedophile, essentially. Why would Muslims want to follow someone like that? And we need to teach them this stuff. I encourage you to share this video with Muslims so that they understand what they're following and who they're following. And hopefully they'll repent, and get saved and give their life to Jesus Christ. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of contradictions also in the Quran when it comes to comparing it with the Bible. This is on page 88 of this book. And it says here, Pharaoh's wife adopted Moses according to Surah 28:9. But Exodus 2:10 states that Pharaoh's daughter adopted Moses. But the Quran says that it was his wife. Had Pharaoh's wife adopted Moses, he would have been the son of Pharaoh and himself heir to Egypt's throne. So a little error there. And we look here, I like this one down here, Surah 28:38 and also 40 verse 25 states that about Pharaoh and the Tower of Babel. The Quran says that a man named Haman, a servant of Pharaoh, built a tower to ascend to God. But the Babel Tower occurs in Genesis 11, long before there were pharaohs, and the name Haman is an even later linguistic name. The only Haman in Scripture is in the story of Esther in Babylon, long after the height of Egypt's glory. So that's chapter 4 of this book, page 88 and 89 pages. Then the Quran states that the Samaritans built the Israelite calf. That's in Surah chapter 20, verse 85 to 97. The Quran says that the calf worshipped by the Israelites at Mount Horeb was molded by a Samaritan. The term Samaritan was not coined until 722 BC, several hundred years after the Exodus, when the idol was crafted. And the book goes on and on, shows other contradictions here. You could probably pause the video and read some of this stuff if you'd like. But there's quite a few contradictions there. And then it continues and shows us there's even contradictions within the Quran itself. Okay, so you look on page 90 of this book. Some great stuff here. Contradictory statements in the Quran. You see here, it talks about that. Describing the Annunciation, the Quran says that one angel came to Mary, Surah chapter 19, verses 17 to 21. But Surah chapter 3, verse 42 and 45 mention several angels at the announcement of Jesus' conception. And then Allah's day, how long is a day to Allah? Surah 22, verse 47 states that Allah's day is equal to 1,000 solar years, but Surah chapter 70, verse 4 states that a day is 50,000 solar years long. And then there's discrepancies on who the soul reaper is. The Quran says it's the angel of death, and then angels generically, and then it says it's Allah in this Surah 39:42 here. Days of creation, there's also, different views within the Quran itself. So you see that there's issues here. The Quran seems not to make sense of its own self, with its own self. Shirk as the unforgivable sin. Does Allah forgive shirk, which is idolatry? The Quran is unclear. The sin is listed as unforgivable in Surahs chapter 4, verse 48 and 116, but forgivable in Surahs chapter 4, verse 153 and chapter 25, verse 68 through 71. Abraham committed this sin of polytheism and worshiping moon, sun, and stars. Surah chapter 6, verses 76 through 78. Yet Muslims believe that all prophets are without any sin. So there's a lot more contradiction and confusion there within the Quran. Here's another good one. Noah's son drowned. According to Surah chapter 21, verse 76, Noah and all his family survived the flood. But Surah chapter 11, verse 42 through 43 reports that one of Noah's sons drowned. And then so we know that none of Noah's sons drowned, but they got they got two stories going on in the one book of the Quran. Then the punishment for adultery. The punishment for adultery in Surah chapter 24, verse 2 is 100 lashes for both men and the women. And then in Surah chapter 4, verse 15, the punishment is life imprisonment for the woman, but no punishment to the man who repents and makes amends. So that's page 90 and 91 of this book. And there's more. There's more in here. I can't read all of it. I encourage you to check out this book, though, and read it. A lot of good stuff there. And if you're a Muslim, I encourage you to give your life to Jesus Christ. He's the way, the truth, and life. And don't follow this Islam stuff. It's a lot of lies here. It'll lead you to hell, and I do a lot of witnessing to Muslims and others. I wanted to make this video just to encourage non-believers or Muslims to give their life to Christ, of course, and also for Muslims and those in Islam. I made it so that they could see some of the stuff. And write me if you have any questions, or you want to maybe try to defend this false religion. It is false. I have to say the truth. But you can email me at servingjesus99212@yahoo.com. That's servingjesus99212@yahoo.com. I'm also on Facebook at Rasan Joshua Collins. That's ROUSSAN Joshua Collins, JOSHUACOLLINS. Rasan Joshua Collins on Facebook. I also have a Facebook group, Homeless Advocates for Christ, and another one, Christian Music by R.Joshua Collins. You can feel free to join any of those. Please let me know if you have questions, you need prayer, maybe for someone that's in Islam or anything like that. Boy, there's just so many other things I could share with you, but I can't make this video too long. But I hope to hear from you soon. Please pray for me too, that I can win a lot of souls to Jesus, whether Muslim or unbelievers or those in other religions, whatever they are. I'm always trying to find ways to reach more people. And please pray that a lot of people see this video too and get saved, set free by the truth. And also through my other YouTube videos. I got a lot of street preaching videos you can watch on YouTube at R.Joshua Collins. That's my YouTube channel. You can find me there on YouTube. A lot of videos, over 500 videos right now, and still making more. So anyways, thanks so much for your prayers, and hope to hear from you soon. May God bless. Bye. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life.